Picture this. You're scrolling through Instagram at 2 a.m. and suddenly you need those sneakers. Not want, need. You can't explain why, but your thumb is already moving toward the checkout button. That feeling? That's not an accident. That's a trillion-dollar machine that's been calibrated, tested, and perfected to make you feel exactly that way. And today, we're ripping open the playbook. Welcome to Forgotten Finance, where lost money lessons come back to life. Let's start with a number that should terrify you. Americans throw away 81 pounds of clothing per person every single year. That's not a typo. We're literally burying enough fabric to cover entire cities in landfills, and yet we keep buying more. The fashion industry has cracked a code that turns your insecurities, your aspirations, and your identity into cold, hard cash. And the scary part? Most people have no idea it's happening. Here's how deep this goes. In the 1960s, the average American bought 25 pieces of clothing per year. Today, that number has exploded to over 60 pieces. But here's the kicker. We're not wearing them more. Studies show we wear our clothes about half as many times as we did 15 years ago. So what changed? Did our closets suddenly develop black holes? No. Fashion companies rewired our brains. It started with something brilliantly sinister called fast fashion. Brands like Zara figured out they could design, manufacture, and stock a new item in stores in just 2 weeks. 2 weeks! Traditional fashion houses took 6 months. This created something psychologists call artificial scarcity. When you walk into a store and the sales associate casually mentions, "Oh, that piece won't be here next week," your brain panics. The fear of missing out kicks in. Suddenly, you're not buying a shirt, you're buying peace of mind. But the manipulation goes so much deeper. Let's talk about something called the Diderot effect. It's named after an 18th century French philosopher who received a beautiful scarlet robe as a gift. He loved it. But then he looked around his study and realized his old furniture didn't match his fancy new robe. So he replaced everything. One robe triggered a complete lifestyle overhaul. Fashion companies exploit this mercilessly. They don't sell you a jacket, they sell you the entire look, the jeans that go with it, the shoes, the bag, the lifestyle. Before you know it, you've spent $300 trying to look like a mannequin. And then there's the psychological warfare of pricing. Ever notice how a designer brand will sell a plain white t-shirt for $200? That's not about the shirt, that's about identity. They're selling you membership to an exclusive club. Wearing that logo tells the world, and more importantly, tells you that you've made it. Psychologists call this conspicuous consumption. You're not buying fabric, you're buying status, confidence, and the illusion of success. It's brilliant and predatory at the same time. Now let's talk about the really insidious stuff. Engineered dissatisfaction. Fashion companies have mastered the art of making you hate what you own. They do this through trend cycles that move faster than ever before. What's in today is out tomorrow. Those jeans you bought 3 months ago? Already outdated. That jacket you saved up for? Sorry, it's giving last season. This constant churn isn't natural, it's manufactured. There are literal trend forecasting companies that decide, years in advance, what colors and styles will be hot. They create the trends, then make you feel like you're behind if you don't keep up. Social media threw gasoline on this fire. Instagram and TikTok turned every single person into a walking billboard. Influencers show you their outfit of the day, and you can shop their entire look with one click. The line between content and advertisement has completely dissolved. And the algorithm? It knows you better than you know yourself. It sees you pause for half a second on a dress, and suddenly your feed is flooded with similar items from 20 different brands. You're being hunted by artificial intelligence that studies your every micro-expression. Here's where it gets really dark. Planned obsolescence. Fashion companies deliberately make clothes that fall apart. That $15 shirt isn't cheap because they're being generous. It's cheap because it's designed to survive maybe 20 washes before it starts disintegrating. This isn't a bug, it's a feature. If your clothes lasted, you wouldn't need to buy more. The average piece of clothing is worn just 7 times before being discarded. 7 times! We've gone from buy it for life to buy it for Instagram. And the environmental cost? Catastrophic. The fashion industry produces 10% of global carbon emissions, more than all international flights and maritime shipping combined. It takes 2,700 liters of water to make one cotton t-shirt. That's enough drinking water for one person for 2.5 years. For one shirt! But fashion companies have gotten clever about hiding this. They slap eco-friendly and sustainable labels on collections while their overall production continues to skyrocket. It's called greenwashing, and it's designed to make you feel good about purchases that are destroying the planet. Let's talk money. The average American now spends about $1,700 per year on clothing. For millennials and Gen Z, that number is even higher. Imagine if you invested that money instead. At a conservative 7% return, that's over $200,000 in 20 years. That's a down payment on a house. That's retirement savings. That's freedom. But instead, it's sitting in a landfill somewhere, decomposing. The really twisted part? Fashion companies have convinced us that this is self-expression. They've taken something that should be personal and creative and turned it into a treadmill of consumption. You're not expressing yourself. You're expressing what a marketing team in New York decided would be profitable this quarter. Real style, the kind that actually matters, comes from confidence and creativity, not from having the latest drop. So what's the escape hatch? First, recognize the game being played. Every ad, every influencer post, every limited-time offer is designed to bypass your rational brain and trigger an emotional response. Second, implement a waiting period. When you want something, wait 30 days. If you still want it and can explain why without using the words everyone or trending, maybe it's worth it. Third, calculate the cost per wear. That $200 jacket you'll wear 100 times? Better investment than 5 $40 trendy pieces you'll wear twice. The fashion industry isn't going to stop. It's a $1 trillion manipulation machine that gets more sophisticated every single day. But you can step off the treadmill. You can choose to opt out of the artificial scarcity, the manufactured trends, and the identity games. Your wallet and the planet will thank you.